Welcome to the Interview with Confidence CC On Demand workshop video. My name is Janet Rivera. I am a career counselor at CSUB, Center for Career Education and Community Engagement. For this workshop, we will be discussing professionalism, interview attire, demonstrating your fit, the day of the interview, questions and strategies, additional interview styles, the finishing touch, CC resources and services, and the workshop survey. Professionalism. Every impression matters, especially the first impression. That goes from the first phone call all the way to your social media accounts. You submitted your job application, and now you're waiting for the phone call to schedule an interview. Be sure to closely monitor your phone, answer the phone call immediately if possible, answer your phone politely, and identify yourself. In case the employer has to leave a voicemail, be sure that your voicemail has a professional voicemail message, including your name and short message. If you don't want to include a personal message, make sure your voicemail is set up and it does not have the voicemail not set up or voicemail full message. You do not want to miss on an opportunity because the employer couldn't leave you a message. For your email, you are responding to the employer, perhaps to confirm the interview. Be professional. Use a professional sounding email, or you may use your CSUB email. Check and answer emails promptly. Use appropriate salutation, grammar, and punctuation. Do not use texting language. Proofread every message before you send it. For example, you are not going to be sending an email that says, "Yes, see you there," and no subject, and no hello, no good afternoon. Be sure to always start with either "Hello, Janet," "Hello," name of the individual, "Good morning," "Good afternoon," and then you proceed with the message. Thank you for your consideration and the invitation to interview for the position title. I am available this Thursday at 10 a.m. I look forward to meeting with you to discuss this position in more detail. Best regards, Rowdy. He has to be professional. Social media. Monitor your social media. If your accounts are public, be sure you are comfortable with an employer seeing anything that you have posted. For example, right here we have an example of an Instagram account. It says, "I hate my job. I'm not always late. Sometimes I don't show up." You definitely don't want to have those kind of postings or anything that could be considered controversial. You always do have the option of having private accounts. This way, employers will not be able to see what you're posting, what you're liking, as your accounts will be set on private. You can have a LinkedIn account, and it is recommended for you to have one. For LinkedIn accounts, it's going to be professional. You either are going to be posting about your job or any articles that you're finding interesting within your industry, and employers will be able to see that information. Remember, be professional as every impression matters. You confirmed your interview. Now it's time to prepare your interview attire. There are different types of attires: business professional or business casual. For most interviews, it's recommended to go with business professional. That includes when you go to your internship or full-time positions. For business casual, if you have an on-campus interview, you do not need to go in full suit jacket attire. However, you are dressing more formal than your casual wear, and we'll go over the do's and don'ts. So for your business professional attire, that includes slacks, a skirt or a dress, jackets, blazers, closed-toe shoes, or heels, loafers/flats. It's recommended to go with more solid, dark, neutral colors, black, navy, gray. However, you can still be yourself. If you like bold or light colors, you can wear the preferred color as a top, and then on top, you'll have your neutral color jacket or blazer. You will be keeping your makeup, hairstyle, jewelry, perfume, cologne on the minimal side. You do not want to be overwhelming the panel of interviewers. It's always better to be overdressed than underdressed. And another tip is to prepare your interview outfit the night before. So you already planned what you want to wear. It saves time and it makes you feel that you're not rushing if you have your clothes hanging on the side, ready to be worn the next morning. Avoid overly casual attire. That means no jeans, shorts, pajamas, gym clothes, or flip-flops. Avoid loud patterns or bright colors as they can be distracting. Avoid revealing uncomfortable or clothing that needs to be constantly readjusted or that is too distracting, such as shirt with large logo or message. You can research the employer's dress code, tattoo policy if possible, cover excessive tattoos, remove excessive piercings. Always have a clean and polished look. No wrinkled clothes. Check for pet hair or any noticeable defects on your clothing. Definitely fresh breath, whether it's chewing gum, but be sure to throw away your gum before your interview. You do not want to take your gum to your interview because you may forget and then you'll start chewing during the interview. Clean and well-groomed hair and nails. Avoid distractions such as dangling earrings, a lot of piercings, hair falling in your face. Avoid excessive jewelry, makeup, perfume, cologne. If you have any questions on your attire, you can always contact us and then we could give you feedback. Demonstrate your fit. To demonstrate your fit, you need to know yourself, the role, and the company. If you know yourself, that means you know your skills, your abilities, your experiences, you know your motivation and your goals. This will help you answer questions when you go to the interview. Know the job. What are the essential skills and qualifications the employer is seeking? Use the job posting as a guide. Know the company. What do they do? What do they value? What recent developments have occurred in the company industry? By doing your research, it shows that you are interested in the position. You could either go to the company's LinkedIn account, because a lot of companies do use LinkedIn and they post about their projects, their accomplishments. They post articles about their industry. And you'll be able to see all the articles or what they're posting on their page. Or you can simply go to the company's website, either click on the About Company. Maybe they have a web page that includes information about their projects and what they're working on, but be sure to research the company. Once you know yourself, the job, and the company, you'll be ready to demonstrate your fit. You will be ready to provide examples from your current or previous experiences that demonstrate those skills and that connection to the job that you are applying for. Continuing with the demonstrating your fit, let's talk about the skills. So you're looking at the job description. What are the skills required for the job? Most jobs will include that they are looking for communication skills, critical thinking, teamwork, problem solving, initiative, organizational, leadership, flexibility. So employers are looking for individuals who have these skills. And you probably do have the skills, but how do you prove that you have the skills, that you are a fit for the position? What experiences can you draw from? One is going to be your work experience or your volunteer experience. However, if you have done fieldwork, research, you could use that. Any classwork, group projects. So it's not limited to work. Again, you have different options to use. Pay attention to the requirements on the job posting. The day of the interview. Silence your phone ahead of time. You don't want to forget, and then suddenly your phone starts ringing or vibrating during the interview. It's better to just put it on silent or shut it off if needed. That way you are not distracted and you're fully concentrated on the interview. To be calm and prepared, there are a couple of things that you could do so you are not rushed during that interview. Arrive 10 to 15 minutes before your scheduled interview. That means hopefully you already did a practice run as to how long it takes you to get to the building. You know where the parking is at, you know where the building is at. So on the day of the interview, you're not rushing to find a place, you're not dealing with unexpected traffic. You already know how to get there and you're not rushing to get to the building. You could get to the parking lot 30 minutes before, that's fine. But to check in 10 to 15 minutes, it's enough time. You don't want to enter the building and check in 30 minutes, then everybody's a little bit uncomfortable. So 10 to 15 minutes will do. You can have your portfolio, which will have your notebook to take notes, your pen, and extra copies of your resume. Like mentioned before, every impression matters. So be polite and professional to everyone you interact with. That means all the way from parking to the reception. For your handshake, when you are being introduced to the panel, that depends on your or the interviewer's preference. Maintain good eye contact. Make eye contact with all your interviewers. If there's a panel, make eye contact with everyone there. You may start making eye contact with the individual who asks you the question, but then as you are answering, make eye contact with everyone. You can demonstrate that you are engaged by your body language. Sit up straight. Try to control nervous habits. Example, perhaps your feet is shaking under the table, or you're tapping the table with your hands, you're playing with your rings, you are making too much hand movement. Try to control it. However, don't focus too much on your nervous habits once you notice it. The reason why I say this is because if you focus too much on your nervous habits, you are going to lose focus on answering the questions, which is the most important part of the interview. Be energetic and show that you're happy to be there. It's okay to show your personality. It's okay to smile. Bring on the questions. One of the questions that most interviews have is going to be, tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself does not mean providing personal information such as your age, your family status, that you enjoy playing your PS5 or your birth date, anything like that. Is going to be on the professional side. That means including information about your education. You can start with your current student status or recent graduate. Introduce previous degrees as relevant. You may include academic honors. You move on next to the experience. Discuss relevant work or internship experience. You may also include volunteer, class projects, or any research experiences that you have. For your current and past experiences, you need to start thinking about how do the experiences relate to the position that you are applying for. Tie your skills you gain to the skills needed for the position when discussing your experiences. And then you may finish your tell us about yourself by including any clubs or membership or activities that you have done. For example, I am currently a junior pursuing a bachelor's degree in computer science at CSUB. My coursework has focused on programming, learning languages such as JavaScript. I am currently working at CSUB ITS as an information technology assistant, where I assist students, faculty, staff with various computer issues, including software troubleshooting and my CSUB login issues. Currently, I am leading a summer project to update campus computers, which has expanded my knowledge of new software and hardware technologies. I participate in the computer science and gaming clubs. Being part of the clubs has deepened my understanding of the field, but also provided opportunities to network with industry professionals. So it summarized my education and my experience. And I didn't give information about my age, birthday, or family status. What is one of your strengths? Always have multiple strengths prepared. Name the strength or strengths depending on the question. Once you identify your strength, explain the strength and provide an example or examples of when you have used the specific skill. You are not just going to say communication, time management. No, you are going to give information as to how you have used that skill to give evidence that you do have the skill. For example, one of my strengths is my ability to adapt quickly to new situations and challenges. Throughout my academic career and jobs, I have consistently encountered new technologies and team dynamics. I found that my flexibility and willingness to learn not only helped me navigate these changes smoothly, but also allowed me to contribute effectively to different projects. For instance, as an ITA, I was assigned a summer project that required me to learn a lot of new campus policies. I took on the challenge, quickly learning the do's and don'ts to complete the project successfully. I am giving information and providing an example to show that I do have the skill. What is your weakness? Always have a weakness or area in need of improvement prepared. Never just say, I don't have one. You identify the area of needing improvement, include information and an example of how you are addressing that area. Never leave it as negative. For example, one area where I have been working to improve is my time management skills. In the past, I found myself taking on too many tasks at work, which occasionally led to deadlines being pushed and feeling overwhelmed. To address this, I started using time management tools such as a calendar app and to-do lists to prioritize my tasks better. I set aside dedicated blocks of time each day for specific projects, which has helped me become more organized and productive. I am providing a weakness, but not leaving it as a negative. I'm giving information as to how I am improving on that area. Tell us about a time when it's time for behavioral questions. It can be interpersonal situations such as, tell us about a time you dealt with a difficult customer/client, or tell us about a time you experienced conflict with a coworker or peer. Or it could be task management. Tell us about a project that was challenging and required critical thinking. Describe a time you made a mistake. Think about your past experiences and describe how you handled the situation. Employers want to understand how you dealt with similar situations in the past because it's a good indicator of future performances. If you have not experienced a certain situation, how would you handle it? Take them through a hypothetical scenario. Let them know. Fortunately, I have not experienced conflict with coworkers. However, if I were in that situation, I would do this. So you are taking them through the process of how you will resolve the situation. You may use the who method or the start method. For the who method is, what was the situation? How did you work through it? And then what was the outcome? For star, we have described the situation. What was the task? What actions did you take? What was the result? For example, during a group project last year, I encountered a conflict with a team member over the direction of our presentation. We had different opinions on how to structure the content and which points to prioritize. I felt frustrated because I believed my approach was more efficient and straight to the point. I suggested a meeting to discuss our ideas in detail. During the meeting, I listened to my classmates' perspective and tried to understand their reasoning. I also shared my perspective. Through open communication, we were able to find common ground and eventually agreed on a compromise. This experience taught me the importance of patience and also the effective communication in resolving issues. Again, I am letting them know what happened, what was the situation, how did we work through it, and then what was the outcome of that. Additional questions. What makes you qualified for this position? This question, connect your experiences, your skills with 3 to 5 qualifications from the job description. I am qualified because of my strong background in project management. In my previous position, I did this and this. Why are you interested in this position? Include how company's culture, vision, values appeal to you, as well as how the position aligns with your skills, experiences, and career goals. Questions relating to future plans. Share your career aspirations. However, you want to make sure you're aligning them with the role in the company. Show your interest in learning opportunities and demonstrate your commitment. Situational questions are going to be hypothetical scenarios that you may face on the job. What would you do if? How would you handle it if? The employer is trying to assess your hypothetical problem solving and decision making abilities. Some interviews may have case studies. They could either be real or hypothetical scenarios related to the job you are applying for. Example, as a project manager, how would you handle a project that is behind schedule and over budget? What steps will you take to get it back on track? Again, the employer is trying to assess analytical and problem-solving skills as you will analyze the scenario, identify key issues, propose solutions, and justify your recommendation. Always provide examples to every question. That may include what are your interests, hobbies, influences, what motivates you, additional training, education, experience questions, or technical questions as well. Remember, always provide examples to questions. Think about your experiences. Again, it could be from your coursework, group projects, internship, volunteer, work, research experiences. The last question is going to be, do you have any questions for us? Always have questions prepared. It's recommended to ask 2 to 3 questions. Some questions could be, if I'm hired, what will be my first project? Can you tell me about the company's culture? How would you define success in this role? What do you like most about working for this organization? What are the challenges for the department this year? By asking questions, you are showing them that you are interested in this position, that you did your research on the company, on the position. When will a hiring decision be made? What are the next steps? Could be one of your last questions. These questions will give you a time frame on when to reach out to the interviewers about the status of the role. When they provide you an answer, they will either tell you, expect to hear from us in 2 weeks, or we will send an email to everyone within a week. It gives you a time frame as to when to expect something. That way you are not checking your emails constantly and being a little bit more nervous. You know a time when to start checking your emails. But of course, always keep an eye out on your emails in case they do reach out to you sooner than expected. Do not ask salary or personal questions. Salary questions will usually be the last step, and then that's going to be through the human resources department. However, in case you do get asked about salary, do your research ahead of time. Research the typical salary range for similar roles, considering factors like your experience level, location, and company size. Websites such as Glassdoor, Salary.com can provide salary insight. When you're answering, be sure to highlight your value and express openness to negotiation. Stay professional and positive. For example, based on my research and experience, I believe a salary in the range of this to this will be competitive for this position. I am flexible and open to discussing the specifics once I have a clear understanding of the job responsibilities and overall compensation package. You're letting the employer know that you did your research. Additional interview styles. We have online, phone, and group interview. For the online interview, we gotten pretty tech savvy using our computers, especially Zoom. But be sure to test your equipment prior to the interview. Check the camera angle, the light, the sound, and background view or noise. Log in 5 to 10 minutes early. Dress appropriately because you never know if you have to stand up and then they see you and you're not dressed. And plus, dressing up for the interview, it gives you a confidence boost. Look at the camera. That is your way of maintaining eye contact. You may have your resume, notes, paper, and pen available in case you need it. Have a backup plan, whether it's, in case something happens to your laptop or computer that you are using. For phone interviews, similar to online interviews, be in a quiet place, test your phone reception, have your resume and notes ready. Interviewers cannot see you. Does not mean that you should write out answers to questions. You do not want to be reading a paragraph for questions that you anticipate being asked during the interview. The interviewers will be able to know based on the tone of your voice. So while you can have notes, highlights as to what you want to cover, do not memorize and read out loud your answers. Interviews can be used to screen candidates before inviting them to a face-to-face interview. For group interviews, be engaged and respectful. Contribute to discussions without dominating them. Use active listening skills and respect others' opinions. Showcase your interpersonal skills and ability to work effectively in a team environment. The finishing touch. You're done with your interview. What is next? A follow-up email. Send a thank you email within 24 hours after the interview to the interview committee. 24 hours have passed. If you send an email, the employer will know that you forgot and just remembered. So be sure to send it within 24 hours. That email, the message is to remind the committee of your qualification and skills. For example, we have subject, thank you for your time. Hello, Janet. Thank you for taking the time to interview me this morning. I enjoyed our conversation about the position and appreciated learning more about working with the CC team. I believe my education and experience background will make me an excellent candidate for this position. I look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Rowdy. Short, straight to the point, but still highlighting your skills and qualifications. If you have not heard from the organization, you can always follow up and check on the status to let them know that you are still interested in the position. CC interviewing resources. CC has a couple of resources for you to use to continue practicing interviewing. We have Big Interview. If you log in through Handshake under resources, you'll be able to find the login information. Big Interview lets you practice online and it has tutorials. Once you log into Big Interview, you could start a new mock interview. You could select questions based on the industry, or you could do a general mock interview. A video will be there to ask you the question, and then you have the opportunity to record yourself answering the question. This is a good way to practice and to look back at how you are answering the questions. Are you providing enough information? Are you showing nervous habits such as too much hand movements, or if you're using yeah, guys? That will be the time to start removing those fillers from your everyday conversations. So when you go to your interview, it's so much easier to remove the and guys and yeah. We also have the CC website at www.csub.edu/CECE. You will be able to find there our interview preparation checklist and a sample thank you letter. You can also use Handshake to schedule a mock interview. So log into Handshake, go to mock interview as your appointment type. Let us know if you want to practice for a specific job or if you want a general practice. Include the name of the position title or industry that you are interested in practicing. It will give us an opportunity to do research and try to gather questions based on that position or that industry. While it won't be the specific or the same questions that you will have for your interview, it could be similar questions and then you will know what to expect. CC services. We talked about interviewing resources. Now let's go over other CC services available to you. We have Handshake, where you could schedule a 45-minute appointment. You can submit your resume for an online review, RSVP to career fairs, and employer information sessions. You can also access our workshop PowerPoints. You can visit our CC website to download resume samples, view our walk-in schedule, and more. Be sure to follow us on social media such as Instagram and LinkedIn to be reminded of our upcoming events. Subscribe and watch other CC On Demand workshop videos on our YouTube channel. We want your feedback. Please take a few minutes to complete our Interview with Confidence workshop survey. And let us know what other career-related topics you would like CC to offer. Thank you for watching the Interview with Confidence workshop.